It was less than a year after our grandmother met our grandfather that they ran away to get married. And then sometime later, my dad and his sister came along. But I guess you could say that the whole family is founded on my grandfather's trombone playing. So music really does run in the family. But my dad took it to a whole other level, as he did many other things. Dad also had an aunt, Aunt Letha, who he says was a great singer. Had a very nice voice, and they used to sing in the car driving around town. That was carried on as we were growing up on long trips where we sang rounds that went round and round and round repeatedly, things that were incredibly repetitious, like Scotland's Burning. I don't know if you all know that. And something that has absolutely no tune at all called the Frog Chorus. Aunt Letha also had a trumpet, and Dad picked up Aunt Letha's trumpet and started to learn to play the trumpet. Along about that time, there was a new music teacher who came to town with the unbelievable American name of Bret Hart Ringler. Bret Hart Ringler, Dad described as a short man with an unfortunate personality. But he loved music. He played violin. He had a wonderful love of music, and he loved to play with my father, because my father was the only one who could keep up with it. So the way my dad learned to read music was that Bret Hart Ringler would come to the house and put whatever music he felt like playing on the music stand, and Dad would have to keep up with him. It was a good education. Bret Hart Ringler also went to Doc Dix one day in his dentistry office, complaining about Letha's trumpet. He said, "Doc, would you please buy that boy a horn? There isn't anybody in the world besides him who can play that thing." So Dad got a trumpet, and things moved on. Now, every summer, Dad and his sister Betty would go to Pattsburgh, next town over, where our great-grandfather lived, and he had a drugstore. And Dad had a wonderful time mixing soda from the old-fashioned soda fountain he spoke about many times. How you could mix all these different flavors in the soda, and it was very fancy. The other thing that Dad did at the drugstore was he found a whole bunch of broken glass, different colored broken glass, and he built himself like a kaleidoscope out of the broken glass, and he took it out onto the corner of the town, and all the old men from the town came around looking through the kaleidoscope. And that was an early science experiment of Dad's. But a bit later, it was actually Dad's English teacher who realized that he had a talent for science, and that it was not going to be met well at the local high school, and he connected Dad with the Benedictine monastery that was about 10 miles away, and he took chemistry courses at the monastery, where they actually had a very fine program there. And then he went on from there to Iowa State and MIT. I just want to mention, because it doesn't fit really anywhere else, and I don't know if it'll come up anywhere else in our talk about Dad, what a wonderful sense of humor he had. And that sense of humor stayed with him right till the end. And finally, I'm going to close my remarks by remembering my dad on his 80th birthday, when, well, part of that day we spent horsing around at Stafford Springs, and I'm recalling that he was demonstrating once again that he could hold a headstand longer and straighter than any of us youngsters. There's actually one of the pictures in the back that we hope you will enjoy. There's a picture of Dad standing on his head with all of the other people around him with their feet falling out. So anyway, Dad got up that night at his birthday party at the public house. And as usual, his remarks were short and to the point. And I remember he said, he was wagging his finger at us and saying, "Family is important. Don't you ever forget it." So, in 1994, when Dad and Marie were married, we joined our family with the Goffs and added Andrea and Leslie and Craig to our set of siblings. So now I'd like to introduce Craig to speak from the Goff family.